guys, we have a big breaking news coming out right now. The U.S. Commander-in-Chief to deploy hundreds of Department of Homeland Security officers to Chicago as part of a massive immigration crackdown. Do me a favor, hit that like, subscribe, notification bell. Thank you again for your support. So the U.S. President is planning to deploy more than 200 Homeland Security officers to conduct a massive immigration sweep in Chicago. Immigration agents will also use Naval Station Great Lakes, which is just outside of the Windy City, as a staging point for their raids that are expected to commence come September, according to the New York Times. Wow. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come in September. I mean, the blood moon, all right? So the blood moon is going to be September 7. 7 billion people will see that blood moon. And then there's going to be some kind of announcement from the UN. And then there's going to be some kind of war operation out there in the Mideast, Gaza. All right? I mean, so many things are going to hit the fan. And there's a possibility the Venezuela and, again, U.S. warship, things could hit the fan this coming September. So there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in September. All right, guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida, 34691. And for those of you that want to contribute to the channel, we do have the Cash App link and a PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Thank you again for your support. Check out the first video I posted today. I did the verse of the day, and again, thank you for your support. So the U.S. Commander-in-Chief Baltazar Tom confirmed that the U.S. President administration plans to flood Chicago and other sanctuary cities with immigration agent. Follow me with the code words here. Look at the lawlessness rate in Chicago. Let's stop here for a second. There's a reason why they call it Chirac. It is bad. It is bad out there. I mean, you even have the Venezuelan gangs out there too in Chicago. So things are not, again, it's no Mary Poppins stuff. There's no peace going on out there. Again, they call it Chirac for a reason. So look at the lawlessness rate in Chicago. Operation will ramp up across the country. You're going to see a ramp up of operation in Chicago. Absolutely, you're going to see a ramp up of operation in New York. You're going to see it also in Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle. Tom told Thursday. Wow, told reporters on Thursday. So once again, it doesn't stop in D.C., Chicago, New York, once again, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle. This is basically like the blue run city. So the blue is the one that seems like they're not doing great. So you do have lawlessness, especially Seattle. Seattle, you do have the, again, those group Antifa. I'm not going to say their full name, but they're out there. Also in Portland, too. But, yeah, there's been a lot of lawlessness crime, and Chicago is like almost the number one, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it says here, all these sanctuary cities, again, the blue, that refuse to work with ICE, where we know public safety warnings are being released every day into this land, especially those cities. We're gonna address that. The former ICE, you know what, added. So what are your thoughts, guys? Leave comments down below. Now, look, a lot of people keep saying this is martial law. This is no martial law. We're not seeing the military taking over. We're not seeing tribunals and stuff like that. This is not even the Insurrection Act. He didn't invoke the Insurrection Act. He just cleaning up the streets. There's too many lawlessness, and the blue has failed to take control. If it was martial law, it would have been all over U.S. city, not just certain parts. It says here, but Chicago's left mayor, Brandon, whose city has long been a target of the U.S. Commander-in-Chief administration, condemned the planned raids. Now, this plan seems to be a rerun of their tactics in Los Angeles, where ICE agents were used as a pretext to justify further escalation by federal agents and National Guard troops. He said in a statement, "We reject any attempts that put those in Chicago in harm's way as a means of furthering the president's political ends." So, again, U.S. Commander-in-Chief is keeping his promise. He's going to be sending a whole bunch of law enforcement, ICE, and border agents, and many others out there. After sending DHS and the National Guard into Washington, D.C. earlier this month to crack down on lawlessness in the nation's capital, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief suggested Chicago will be next. The U.S. President has been clear. We are going to make our streets and cities safe again. Across the sleeping giant, the DHS law enforcement are cuffing and removing the worst of the worst, including gang members and lawlessness and more lawlessness that have terrorized the sleeping giant community, a senior DHS official told the news. I mean, this is good news, right? I mean, to me, it's good news. The Bible gives a very important instruction. Actually, God gives a very important instruction to leaders. Leaders like, again, Vladimir or Benjamin or Donald, again, world leaders. Their job and role is for the people to live in peace and to punish the wicked and to reward the righteous. That's a command. That's in scriptures. That's something that people should not go against, because that's the Father putting out that commands to world leader. You are a leader to this land, meaning that you hold the highest position, the throne. And throne are meant for righteous, which, again, a lot of people are saying that Donald's not a righteous man. I can understand a lot of people out there, I mean, there's lawlessness. Now, I'm not saying Donald is lawlessness, but Donald is basically, he's doing something here that scripture says that you must punish the wicked. And Donald is punishing the wicked. Again, let me just pull that up really quick. Give me a second here. I mean, you got this, all right? They're being thrown in jail. He's punishing the wicked. He's punishing the wicked. All right? These are the wicked that have been giving nightmares to the sleeping giant communities. Punishing the wicked. Again, the blue allowed them to do whatever they want. The blue allowed them to do whatever they want. There was a video about Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. Remember that complex? The building? You had all the gangs, had GUN and stuff like that. They were not punished. The mayor or the governor said that he didn't see anything wrong in the video. And they were not punished. They were just continuing going and knocking people's door with GUN. It says here under Secretary Noam, ICE and CBP are working overtime to deliver on the sleeping giant people's mandate to cuff and send many and make the sleeping giant safe. Well, again, you can't make the sleeping giant safe because there's always going to be lawlessness. It's a fallen world. It's a sinful world. But again, God sees the heart of many and sees as leaders are trying to bring peace. A formal request for Homeland Security officials to use the naval base is pending approval for the Pentagon, according to the NYT. The application described 30 days of operational in the Chicago metropolitan area, according to the outlet. The naval station will provide facilities, infrastructures, and other logistical needs for the operation if Secretary of Defense Pete signs off on it. That would include providing space for 250 DHS personnel, a tactical operations center, and an incident command post. So they really need a whole bunch of stuff out there in Chicago. It goes to tell you that this is going to be a big operation. This here is going to be a big operation here. And again, that's the reason why they call it Chirac. All right, it's not beautiful. I mean, there's always some lawlessness going on, and there's a lot of illegal GUN out there. It says here the base, which is traditionally used for training new recruits, will also provide bathrooms, laundry, parking for 140 vehicles, and storage space for medical supplies and weapons like rubber. I'm gonna skip a certain name here, guys. I'm just gonna highlight it. And tear gas. Now, the reason why they need this, well, again, like I said, there's illegal GUN out there, and they're going to be facing a whole bunch of gangs. At the same time, there's going to be possibly some rise. There's going to be people out there that's not going to like it. So they definitely, law enforcement is going to need certain stuff. The plan would include deploying specialized Homeland Security teams on September the 2nd, according to the outlets. All right. So what are your thoughts, guys? Chicago is going to be the next one. Give me a second here, guys. Give me 1 second. So, the U.S. Commander-in-Chief will be surging hundreds of DHS agents into Chicago to ramp up mass deportation. They're also planning on using a nearby Navy base for DHS and ICE operations like their headquarters. And a National Guard deployment is still being considered. The Chicago crackdown is coming. This is going to be a big one. I believe this one here is going to be bigger than DC. And we need to pray for the law enforcement because I do believe things are going to hit the fan. Again, like I said, it's really, really, really bad out there, Chirac. And, yeah, it's really going to hit the fan. You got the... Is this the governor? Give me a second here. So the U.S. Commander-in-Chief to conduct major immigration enforcement operation in Chicago by Friday, September the 5th. All right, so we have a date. That could include armed trucks, federal troops, and ICE agents flooding the city. Chicago needs saving. It says here, good, Chicago needs saving. Well, buckle up. Yeah, big things are coming in the month of September. Buckle up. And this is what the people actually went for. They voted for this. Again, when it comes to, this massive operation by sending many back home and cuffing the gangsters, the gangs. Give me 1 second here, guys. Trying to see if I can find any more information. But the New York Times, they the one who put out the info. New York Times. The U.S. administration plans immigrants crackdown in Chicago. The plans involve sending in hundreds of Homeland Security officers and using a naval base as a staging area. Wow. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just looking for more updates here. So it seems like this is like all the information. All right. I would keep it updated. What are your thoughts? Leave comments down below. But this is where we at right now, and like I said, things are gonna hit the fan pretty soon out there in Chirac. We need to pray for a lot of people. But again, if you pay very close attention, back last year, Texas governor, he bussed all these individuals to these cities. And remember, he gave the list to Donald and told Donald, these people are here. And Donald is going to all these cities and sending them back home. And yeah, we definitely seen a huge operation here, guys. So Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Portland, Seattle, there's going to be a lot more. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.